Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to discuss my version of Torbran, Thane of Redfell. In this deck, of course, it's going to be based around Torbran. And he says, if a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Okay, he's got 3 red in his casting cost, so he's really all about the red. And we want to do as much damage as possible. So we also have other cards that increase damage for playing a red source or having a red source. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage. She says if another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 1 to that permanent or player instead. So if I've got Torbran and Jaya out, it's effectively that much damage plus 3. And beyond that, just for fun, I've got Fiery Emancipation in there. So if a source I control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. So it gets exponentially worse as it goes on. And on this channel, we love poison. So of course, we're going to have the Fallen Ferromancer in there. He costs 4 to play, but no need to worry about that. We've got some mana producing spells in here. He's 1/1 Infect, and you can pay 2 and he taps for 1 damage. He deals the damage. So I can do 1 Infect damage to somebody. And of course, all the other buffers are going to make it way more. So let's just say we've got Fallen Ferromancer out. We've got Torbran, we got Jaya, and we got Fiery Emancipation out. So he only does 1 damage, but with Torbran and Jaya out, he effectively does 4 damage. And then we would triple it. So that would be 12 damage, and that would be lethal. That's the goal of the deck. But I don't have any more Fiery Emancipations. So I think we'll be just doing 4 damage at a time, which is bad enough. And of course, I can have an attack phase. But what we're really wanting to do is untap my creatures, because we want to untap the Fallen Ferromancers. And untap all the creatures and be able to tap them again. I played a version of this deck on Arena in Standard when Cavalcade of Calamity was legal. So this was the basis for the deck. Like I put a bunch of 1/1 creatures in there, attack with them, and just ping my opponent repeatedly over and over again, and making it effectively 3 damage every time a 1/1 attacks. Jaya wasn't legal at the time. But to make 1/1s, I've got Goblin Gathering in there. And you get more goblins every time you play a Goblin Gathering, so that's perfect. And also, it's always hard to play against white in Standard because they're gaining life. So I have Tybalt in there, so they couldn't gain life, and it also lets me create a 1/1. And when it dies, if my 1/1 would die, it deals 1 damage to any target, which could be a finishing move right there. I also, in Standard, I also had Leyline Tyrant, and just so I can build up my red mana to play Fiery Emancipation, and when he died, I could still do damage. But Pyretic Ritual was not legal in Standard, so this is another my own variation on this deck that was legal in Standard for a while. And Killing Fiend fits right in, because, whoops, he would attack as a 1/1, and then if I wanted to, I could cast an instant or sorcery and make him bigger. Same thing with Chandra Spitfire. They will both trigger Cavalcade of Calamity, and then they will get their buff. which makes the deck kind of oppressive. But there's 4 of those in there, of course. And just for fun, I added a Luca. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a bit of a coughing fit there. But what he does is he costs 5 mana and he comes in with 5 loyalty. And you can... Sorry, the camera is not focusing. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. And creature cards, exile this way, gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. And that's nice just to find all the pieces of my combos. And I can neg 2 them to exile target creature I control, then reveal cards from the top of my library until I reveal a creature card with a higher converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom in any order. So technically I could sack one of the goblins and get a maybe a Leyline Tyrant or a Torbran or any of the other bomb creatures I got in there. And his neg 7 is each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So that could be pretty gross. And it's that's pretty much all of it. I do have 24 just regular mountains. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.